This computer.
There you go.
Perfect. Hey Ken, how's it going?
It's going well, Brandon. How are you, man?
Good, good, good. So I said 6:30. I ended up recording a 45-minute video at 6:30.
Oh, wow.
I'm going through it.
Okay.
So we're gonna have two ones. I wanted one for the phone and one for the computer.
Oh, cool.
So this would be good for sure. The good part about it, Dan, I recorded the whole session on both two phones. So now that recording can be pretty nice for somebody to see going in and out. I think it was about 45 minutes or so. So there should be no problem there.
Okay.
I think that'd be great. All right, so let's see. I'm gonna actually go over to TradingView and let's walk through two different ways to go about this. Two different ways to go about this. Yeah, let's go.
While you're doing this, I'm currently trying to pass a 250K right now.
Turn up. How's it going?
We're good. I'm ready. You're already 4K along the way. See if I can finish it off.
There you go. You got some signals going. This is NQ. All right, perfect.
Yeah.
So while I'm going through it, let's see. We're looking at the phone layout. This is the phone layout. Let's go with the desktop layout.
hmm
Ken, did you actually get into it fully?
No, not yet. You know what? I'm just getting back in the house. So I'm going to get back in there and get everything, all loaded.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
So this will give you a nice visual of what we spoke about earlier, which is great. So let's hop into it. What are you trading on a regular basis, Ken? We'll go off of that.
hmm Uh, yeah, ES for the most part.
Okay, ES. Let's do ES right
hmm
now. And I think that's a great one to use to pass futures challenges. ES and I would say YM as well. YM is a little faster, but the pip count is pretty nice and everything's kind of smooth in that way. So
hmm
first and foremost, we're gonna start on this left side, okay?
Okay.
And let's hide floating meeting controls. We'll save that. Close this up, and we will get these going. Okay, beautiful. So I'm gonna go through just day after day what this would look like, and then we're gonna make it just this left side first, and then we're gonna go back to both sides so we can tie it all together and go from there. So let me do this. I'm actually gonna do it like this. All right, perfect. Let's do this so we can have the shortcuts going. So we can start our trading day at 8:30 Eastern time every single day. Okay, 8:30 or maybe 9 o'clock. All right, and this is what it will look like. If you only do this, you'll be profitable and you'll have no problems at all if this is all that you do. Okay. Um, Now, Ken, how many pips or ticks per day are you looking to get to be able to sustain like your lifestyle? How
Oh,
many?
cool, man. So, like, ideally, 1,000 a day would be great. And I wasn't even doing that yet. Um, and I was just taking it like very conservative. Um, but in reference to like even 1,000 a day, I think would be pretty doable.
Okay, beautiful. How many ticks is 1,000 per day on ES? Do you know that
That's a great
number?
question. I don't even know by offhand.
Okay, so knowing that number, yeah, let's go.
And I've been trading like micros.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. No, talking about this? Okay, it'll be this. Okay, solid. Solid. Okay. So let's find out what that is first. Okay.
Okay.
So here we go. ES, it gives you 1250 per tick, right? Okay, so 1250 per tick. All you would have to do is just divide 1,000 by 1250, right? So if we divide that by 1250, equals that. We're looking at 80. All right, so every time you see 80 come across, I believe that's it. One contract's going to give you 1250 if you're using one contract to get, yep, 80. So 80 is your number with one contract, okay? Now, how much room do you have in your account right now for comfortability?
Now, when you say how much room in the account, are you talking about the account size?
Yes, so the account size.
So
The
this is
account-
this particular one at Top Step is a 50K,
Okay,
and then it's essentially they give you up until, you can't lose them more than 2,000.
2,000. Okay. Now, is there a daily drawdown or daily loss limit?
That's a great question.
No.
See, I'm pretty sure that there is.
So there is a daily loss limit on that, and that loss limit is 1,000, right? $1,000.
$1,000.
Okay. So we're in here at $1,000 to deal with one way or another. If we divide this by 1250 again, what do we have? That's that 80 again, right?
80.
So 80 is a win and 80 is a lose. Okay, at this point with what you have going on. So let's see if that works out well to use here to make that happen, or if we need to scale up to get to 2 contracts or a bigger account size to be able to see that. Because that's what's going to be important. Are you in the right account size for the goal that you have? And then are we using the right strategy to be able to do so as well?
Yeah.
So let's look and find out, because I haven't measured out ES at all, but I'm going to show you how this works. So we show up at the computer at 8:30. Now, when we show up at the computer at 8:30, there's only one thing that we're looking for, right? There's a couple of things we're looking for sure. So if we have this background, this solid background, this is a 200 SMA, right? Now, with that, there's a foreground, and this is the trend. This is what's happening right now, okay? If it's blue and blue, we're looking to buy through. Okay, we're looking to buy through this line. This is as simple as we can get it for sure. Blue and blue, buy through the line. If it's red and red, we sell through the line, which should be down here somewhere. But if it's in consolidation and it's not the same, kind of like in here, then we're going to go both ways through it. Consolidation, it just opens the door and we go both ways through it, okay? All right, so right now we have blue and blue, so we're buying through. No problem. Your first move of the day is coming in right here, and this is it. So we got, how do we read that? Is that 117 ticks?
Yeah.
I mean,
It's blurry.
A little bit. Okay. It's a little
Yeah,
blurry.
it said 117.
Is it 117? Okay.
Okay, that's 117. So did we hit your goal in this one right here?
Yeah, I would say yeah.
Okay, we were looking for 80. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this side by side. I'll bring this to the 1 second, and then I'll make it, maybe not the 1 second. I'll have it on like the 5 second or so. I'm going to do this so that we can rewind the market and actually see it happen, right? I want to see it happen. So this is what you're able to do. You're going to be able to press rewind. You're going to have side by side. And what you want to do is you want to make this a low time frame in the seconds so that this can be going, close to tick by tick so that you can kind of see the real movement of the market, 1 second only goes back a certain amount of time. So I chose 5 because we're just going to go day to day and I don't want to come back to it. So we'll do 5 seconds at a time, okay? All right, so let's rewind it. This is what happens. These are 30-minute candles. All right, so we can press play here. That's pretty pure. That happened very, very quickly. All right, so that's clean. So I'm not going to rewind every single one, but you guys will end up getting the picture for sure. So there's that, no problem. We're still blue and blue when we come here. So the thing is, your protection is also this line, right? So when it comes back to this line, you're just going to exit out.
Okay.
This keeps you going in the right direction. All right, so it's like tapping on the wall and, until we find where the money is. And then we punch the hole in the wall, and that's fine, and let it roll. So if you only got maybe 50 out of that, here's the rest of your 37 here.
Yeah.
Right? No problem. So then we ended up getting under the 200, right? It flicked over to this. It came under the 200. And I'm not sure what part of the candle it happened at, but that's what happened. Over here is where your actual move would be. It came back to this point, and then you can sell off of here. Why? Because we're red, and it's kind of getting red, right? But here's your second move, and that's 10:30. So this is most of the day, and then this is the rest of the day, no problem. So that's a nice winning day.
Yeah.
Right? At the same time, down here is your confluence. So when you see this, there's 4 different colors. There's light pink, there's dark pink, there's dark blue, and there's light blue. You'll see light blue later on. When it's dark red like this, it's going to be pushing. That means that it's pushing. There's volatility and it's pushing. So if you look and line up the candles to see what the candles are doing as you're hovering over them, when it got back to pink like this, its consolidation is pulling back. Right. Now it takes a while for these to react in that way. So this is why I have the side by side. But if you know, let's just cross over and that's it. We'll be in good shape. So can we call that a winning day, 1,000 day?
Oh, for sure.
Okay. All right, solid. So let's go to the next day. I'll go faster and faster as we go through, as you understand for sure. All right, so here's ES for the next day. We start at 8:30, and we're looking at a sell-through. We don't see a big sell-through anywhere here, right? Because it's kind of transitioning into another different trend, right? I don't see a sell-through here. I see a little one here, but that's about it. Right? That only gave you 33, and that's fine, but that's not exactly what we're looking at. So when it came back through here, we're out of there. Now these green diamonds and these pink diamonds are kind of telling you to exit. These are made for exiting.
Gotcha.
Okay. So the green diamond is telling you, hey, look, you should probably exit your sales. You're kind of entering into some buy action. Right. So this buys through here and we start getting the buy action. We kind of get into the blue and we're seeing that it's kind of consolidation and everything of the sort. So this is what's happening. We're on the buy side of this. So the way that you would read that is, hey, look, we're kind of getting into buy activity. But then it said, hey, look, we're getting into some sell activity after that. So it's consolidation. I think your only major move will be in here.
Yeah.
At 12 o'clock. So 12 o'clock would be down here, comes up. Hey, look, we're in blue. So that opens up, since it's consolidation, that opens up both ways. If you did end up selling through here and coming back, you didn't get much in there either. But if you grab maybe 20 out of the first one, 10 out of the first one, and then here's the next one, 30. If you got 10 out of that or just held it, waiting, and then come back to the line, you got out of the line, but guess what? We're blue in both, and we're going this way, and that's when you finish up.
Yeah. Wow, that's huge.
Right, so consolidation before the move. And to let you know that you can hold it, we're in dark blue, dark blue, dark blue, dark blue, dark blue. We're pushing for the whole time, and we had a buy right here, so you would have been able to get that towards the end of the day, 1 o'clock, but at least we got
And how
two
many ticks is that candle there? The larger one, right there, right
larger
around.
ones.
So, yeah.
This one is 1,200, almost 1,300.
Wow.
And that's pretty clean. Now, did we lose a lot? Did we go anywhere and lose a lot? I don't think so. I think we just
No.
hitty-patting until the market was ready to do something. But it allowed you to stay real tight and got you to where you needed to go. So I also am going to give you guys the ability to get alerts for this, right? The
Okay.
alert for the crossover, so that you only come to the computer when that happens. I'll make it simpler in the code first, and then I'll get that out to you guys, so that's easy to make them. So again, 8:30, bang. We're looking at both. Here's your cross through on that, and we got 192. A lot smoother day. Can handle it, no problem. Red, 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 red. So you could have hold that for the whole time. And then you have some extra sales letting you know. Overall, that thing moved 1,300 ticks. But we only need 80 on your side, right? So here we go. Red and red. 8:30. Here it is. Here's the first one. That's 131 at 8:30.
Wow.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Pull it back up, and guess what? We coming right back down, and you had a sell letting you know that you could hold on to that for a little bit. 473 on the second one, and you're out of there. Next day. Now you could probably explain it to me. 8:30. This is what it looks like. We bought through there, came here, sold down, but we weren't crossed over there. That's not a crossover. So I bought through. You would have heard an alert, ding, ding, ding. You would see that it's buying. So you'll be like, oh, no, we're not looking for the buys. And then it'll say ding, ding, ding right here. And then it will come over here and come down a little bit more. So there's your 142 before it brought back up. If you didn't take the profit because you want to hold, guess what? Take the break even or a little bit of profit when it comes back to this line, and then it comes back down again right here for another 500 ticks. Right, and you're out of there before 11 o'clock. If you woke up a little bit late, this came up and it came right back down again and did as much as all of this right here.
Wow.
777. Okay, on to the next day. What day is this? April 4th. Let's go April 3rd. 8:30, started up, and you see it immediately, right? Bought up, came back down. We're looking for the 80. 106 for you. Bought up again, came back down. It's another 227 for you. Bought up again, came back down. And this is another get out, come back up, come back down. Maybe it gets this much, 273. So that was that day. Have we seen a bad losing day or a losing day yet?
I don't think so. I haven't seen one yet.
Not really, right?
How about you, Daniel? Yeah.
It's been probably about 2 weeks since a bad losing day. I've seen one.
Yep. Yep, just about that for sure. So here we go again. Now, were you using that black line action on your losing day? Was it with this system? How did it go on your side?
No, so I think the losing day was probably the day before I signed up with you.
Okay, solid. That's good enough for sure. So, bam, the trickiest thing on here possible, the trickiest thing is when we're transitioning into a different trend, which is this. And all the time, you're always going to see one of these green diamonds or a pink diamond letting you know, hey, look, hop out of those cells. If you're in any, you wouldn't be in any. And we're going to do some buying action. Even if it lets you know up here, no worries. But what's always going to be happening at a time is this crossover as well.
Mm-hmm.
So if you hear a ding, 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 and you see this crossover and you see green diamond, then you're going to be kind of looking for some buying action,
Yeah.
right? You can be able to do that. If anything else, you hear a ding, ding, ding again, and we got blue and we got red, so you can go through either way. So it comes through a little bit, you come out, it comes here. That's not a big drawdown at all. It comes back down, and then here's your money here, as long as we had those alerts set for you. That's 104. Okay.
Wow.
Then it happens again at 3:30 when everything starts cooking. So this must have been some type of, I don't know what kind of date, but here's your
What
back.
day is what date is that?
The 2nd of April.
2nd. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And here's your buyback through. So that's 58, comes back down here and then goes all the way to here. So that's 262 there. And then your sell back through if you're looking all the way over there, but you shouldn't. It should be right in here. That's your prime time for sure. Okay. Even if it's not, it's all good. Red and blue, what would you do here? Describe it to me as if you were teaching.
So essentially, if I was going for a sale right there, I think that's at 10 a.m. Or are you at the 10 a.m. or are you at the 8 a.m.?
If you're looking at 8:30 a.m. to start, you're looking at the chart and everything.
Okay.
Describe it to me from 8:30 on until your goal is hit.
Okay, cool. I probably would wait. I don't see enough confirmation to do a buy at 8:30. I mean, you could, but I don't see enough confirmation. If I was looking at the confluence at the bottom, and then also the indicator right next to it is basically telling you to get out of position. But I would essentially would wait until 10 a.m. Because I can see it as far as the sell confluence is basically giving me confirmation. But then, of course, I would get out because of the diamond there. At I think it's right around. What is that right next to it? Is that 10? That's 10. Is that 10:30?
Yeah, so this is 10:30 next to it with the buy,
Yeah.
and it is 10 o'clock with the sell.
Yep. So yeah, I definitely would go with the sell there, and then we get out of it prior to, because essentially that's probably, I don't know how many ticks that is. That might be right around maybe 40, 50 ticks.
For which one? 10 o'clock?
10 a.m. 10.
10 a.m. We're looking at 119.
119. Wow. So yeah, I can literally be out of it right there and be done.
Be done. Absolutely.
And just get out of position there, and then can turn right back around and go for a buy. Can ride that all the way out.
Absolutely.
Up until most likely at 12 o'clock.
30, 11, 11:30,
Yeah.
12 o'clock. I mean, kind of slump down a little bit. And that's perfect. Perfect. So solid. I'm glad you understand for sure. The first thing I would see is pink in the background, and I don't even know what's going on in here in the foreground, knowing that it's consolidation.
Yep.
So that means in my mind, I can go both ways through this. So if we're at 8:30 and it's crossing over for the buy side, great. If we took that buy, that's 33. Came back here, came over here, pulled up some more. That's 54. Came here, start to sell down. Then you got your sell down right here. Gave you a little bit. If you didn't take profit on the buy, that's where you'll get out at in the black. 36 there, comes back up, hop right out of it. So you'll just be playing hopscotch. You see how it kind of keeps you close? And that'll be that. And then by the time it's ready to do something, you're in position and you haven't taken a big loss at all. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's great. So now we know how that goes. And as I go through these other days, you can kind of just see it visibly. So now you have clarity coming to the computer, which is good. Now the same thing happens in YM. The same thing happens in NAS, US 30. The same thing happens with USD. Same thing happens with every single thing that you can possibly want to trade, which is great because now this is going to give you profitability, consistency, and simplicity as we're going, into the market. So I'm just going to show you what YM looks like. This was today. Here's 8:30. You can kind of see it through here. Come back. Again, we're doing both ways. Here's your sell back, and it never came back, and that is 1,600 ticks, right? CPI day. Never came back to it, and honestly, this seems so simplistic, but look at what your entry ends up being. Your entry ends up being up here in the wicks of these 30-minute candles, which is very pristine by any, judgment of trading. And honestly, it's not the judgment of trading. It's really trying to get everything that you need out of the market. And that's it. So here's yesterday. Here's your,
Absolutely.
you know what I mean? It's really about that. So here we go. Sell, right? Red. And we ended up at here when it gets consolidation wise. But again, what showed up when we're transitioning? The green diamond showed up, letting you know, hey, look, hop out of themselves. And look, the crossover is here. So you still got clarity even in that. So these are the worst case scenarios. Now we're in consolidation here, red and blue. So
Station. Yep.
now we can go both ways. So this comes down here and you end up, hey, look, we're on the buy side. Great, that's what that would be. So even if you went through the sell side here and it started pulling up on you, you can get out. No problem. It came right back to it. But look what you get out of that. Now, this is news now.
Now, would you just wait? Would you just wait until you had a strong confirmation? I think it's right around maybe 12:30. Is it 12:30? Yeah, about 12:30. I think it is there.
Okay, so 12:30. It doesn't go back there 12:30, but over here it did. But this is the Donald Trump stuff. So this could have been like in a hot flick of a second. If we rewind it, we can kind of see what it looked like. So let's rewind this one because that's deep, crazy news. And anybody that caught that would be ecstatic. So this is 5 seconds at a time. You see that it's messing with the line right there. This is 5 times faster than you would be able to see it as you're trading. So I would think to sell through that as I'm teaching, right? I got a pink diamond saying, hey, look, we're selling a little bit. I would think to sell through that, right? Being completely forward with it. I would get out with that happening, and then I would get into the buy because, again, we're in consolidation. And you see how you could have caught that buy. And this is 10 times 50, so that's 50 seconds at a time. So that would have given us plenty of time, especially at 1 second at a time, to get into that buy. So if that's almost a minute at a time, then again, that's 293, 324 there. As we look at, because it would have taken forever at 5 seconds at a time, but you have access to this as well. The back testing layout is going to allow you to do this. And you can play with it again, so you can take these buys or take these sells over here
Hmm.
and your
Yeah.
contract size and all of that too. So I think that'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to see what, because I never really looked at it again, what it looked like when the Trump thing did happen. I think that this is it right here. It should be 1 p.m. What time did he talk to?
Trump yesterday.
Yeah, I think this was Wednesday. I'm losing the I'm losing the message. All right, so am I choppy right now, or am I kind of smooth? I'm losing a little signal. Damn, babe. Okay. I'm back in the game.
That's
Cool.
cool.
I'm gonna do these from home from now on.
Yeah,
For sure.
that's cool.
But that's what we see. Okay. So let me make sure I get through the next part of this. But is that pretty clear for you?
Yes, it's absolutely great.
All right, perfect. So if you only had that, I promise you, you'll be profitable, and that's it. Most people are really only looking for 25 pips or 25
Hmm.
ticks per day, using a 20 lot in a prop firm to earn $1,000 per day, and that's all you need. So here's another one. Saw that. So now tying it together, right? So if we know this about the 30, and we know that this is where action happens, and we have an alert from the 30 in that way, then we know what time to show up to the computer without having to catch any noise, right? Without having to
Hmm.
catch any noise. While this is happening, in the background, you got the Telegram group cooking as well. So you'll get those notifications coming in for NQ and US 30 if you're trading those things. Now let's go back to ES since we're carving up your 80 ticks per day at this point, right?
Hmm.
And correct me if I'm wrong, once you have a nice little balance, can you scale up in terms of your amount that you're risking?
Oh yeah, so you're talking about like in reference to contracts?
Yeah, in terms of contracts, right? If we're doing 1,000 per day,
Hmm.
right? After 2 days, you'll have
Yeah.
$500 in the balance that's left, right?
Hmm.
And then what is the ratio? What is the not $500 left? Excuse me, because you're in the 50K, right?
50K, and
Oh,
then the max they allow you
mhm,
1K per day that you're allowed to lose.
1K per day. All right. So any of those
Hmm.
days, did you go back 80 ticks the wrong way?
And you know what I've been doing just to play conservative, man? I've been doing micros.
Micros. Okay.
So,
That's even better.
yeah,
That's even better for sure. Um, but perfect. So you can kind of scale into those.
yeah.
That's really nice. So now the ratio, say you're only using the standard contract for that, right?
Hmm.
The ratio would be one contract divided by, let me see, we got 2,000 to work with, or 1,000 to
Hmm.
work with. So it's 80, right? So one contract divided by 80 gives you a number. It gives you this number,
Hmm.
okay? So when you
1.325.
multiply your balance by that number, whatever balance it is, you can have, say you saved up 6,000 in there, right?
Hmm.
So that you can have comfortability and use the bigger contract size. What contract size would you use? If you had
Hmm.
6,000 in there, what contract size would you use? If you're used to standards and you're used to 80s, like what would you use if I had 6,000 sitting there mentally right now?
Mm, I would probably use at least five.
At least five, right?
Hmm.
Okay. So perfect. What I'm
The
saying to you
micros.
here is use this calculation to find out exactly what contract amount you're going to use for that account size, right? With 6,000 left over, you're just going to multiply this by what you have. And it's
Okay.
going to give you the same comfortability as what you started with. So now that gives you standardization, right? Now it's going to be a standard. So if you have one contract and that is divided by $2,000, that's going to give you this. And then your multiply is this number, not the form before, sorry about that, but this number times 6,000. So you would use a 3 to have comfortability,
Okay.
right? So now you don't have to guess what contract size that you use as you're scaling up as well. Now, if this was Forex, you would just take the lot size that you use for comfortability, right? And for Forex, I would divide this by 500, whatever your account size is, by about 500 for room, because we're going pip for pip. So for example, today I started with 294, right? But I only use $1 per pip to begin with,
Wow.
because that only gives me a dollar. I mean, that gives me 294 pips of room to play with, right?
Yeah.
There's a margin call as well, so maybe it gives me 250. So I'm like, okay, whatever move I'm in, I have to make sure that I don't go back 250, and I'm absolutely fine. Okay, so that's how you use that on the other side. You take whatever account balance. So say you had a 200K after making all your thousands over and over again. You got a 200K. Your daily loss is only 10,000 to deal with. You divide this by how much? 500. 500 if you want to be risky. That's $20 per pip. And you divide it by 1,000 if you don't want to be risky. So at what point are you going to go the wrong way 1,000 pips? That's not going to be the case. And then as you get comfortability,
No.
you divide that by 1,000.
No.
So now you have your risk management down pat. If you're just starting, divide it by 1,000. Give yourself 1,000 pips. Now this market is going 1,000 pips, but you shouldn't be losing 1,000 pips with that strategy, right? Solid. So now let's go to the second piece of this, right? What if you had this 30 going and you knew what was going on and you're looking for a crossover? The other side of this is it. I love you more. Is it down to the second of what's happened, and you have this whole map from the seconds all the way down up to the weekly time frame of what's happening here. So this is all the way down to the 1 second. 1 second, 5 second, 10 second, 15 second. Okay. And I'm gonna send you a video. I took all the candles and everything off of here. I took everything off of here, and I had NAS and US30 and SPX side by side, and I just used this, and I just used these 2 rows, maybe one of these rows. I say, you know what? When they're all up, mostly up or something like that, I'll put a buy in, and when they're mostly down, I'll put a sell in. If you only do that, I ran up 10,000 or 19,000 in the rewind, and I was going 10 seconds at a time. So this is 10 times faster than the market. It's 10 times faster than the regular market. I don't have any candles. I don't have anything to go off of but this right here. And I recorded about 30 minutes of that, 30 or 40 minutes of that. Wins, losses, and everything. So that's the power of this. This is going to be solid for you. Okay. Now, if people have never traded Rinko or used Rinko, each brick is set 5 pips. Right? You wanna let me get you muted for this real quick.
Okay.
Get you muted.
Let me mute it.
Real quick.
I muted. Oh, I muted.
All right, perfect. So I appreciate that. So over here, we're looking at a powerful indicator. If we turned everything off and just followed this, it's going to be able to do everything that you need, right? So great. See, okay, there we go. So on this side, with wrinkle bricks are, you can choose how many pips or ticks each brick is, okay? So for this one brick, this is 5 ticks on ES. So if we know that, we got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 ticks. So if we measure this, this should say something like 25. This is 25, ends up at 25 over here, right? 25 pips or ticks. I'm not sure because I never really measure ES, but 25 is what that is. Maybe it's 100, I'm not sure. But this is in pips. So, but it's giving you market structure though. Okay, we're on the 1 second and this is how the market is structuring. So if we're looking at how it actually moves to understand how wrinkle bricks move, it's gonna go back and forth. You see how it's a little faded here? It's gonna be faded until it has moved enough to make a brick and 1 second has passed. So now it's coming here and 1 second passes, it moved, and now that brick is solid. Okay, so this doesn't go off of time except for, every second of the, it's going to close, 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 1 second, 1 second, 1 second, close, close, close. It's going to solidify if there's a brick is there, if there's a brick there. A brick is, again, 5 pips or whatever you're trading. So I'll explain it on something that I use, which is what I was using earlier, which is US 30, so that I can explain it clearly. Right? So with this brick, it should be 5 pips. So if I scroll this here, this is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, all the way up, right? So now we have market structure. Now market structure plays with levels or support and resistance perfectly. It always plays with support and resistance. So now you see clearly what your market structure is, and you also have the levels that it's playing with. So now if you have this, right, and you have this, when you're around at the time of your crossovers, it gives you full clarity on what's going on, where it's going on, how the market is pushing, if it's pushing right now. I'm going to take off the support and resistance right now because you're not allowed to rewind with Rinko, right? You can't really rewind it. But I did record the entire day of taking the 294 to 2100 in US 30. I recorded, it's a lot of trades in there, and I'm using this. And it's really taking you right into profit. And it really, brings down the amount of risk that you give or that you get. The risk that you have when you're entering. And your confirmations are more solid. So if I'm looking, I want you guys to look at the cursor. I'm going to put this to 8:30 from today. I want you guys to look at the cursor. Let me see if it's going to let me go back. It's so weird. Oh, it's probably just slow. Okay. So it's just slow because of the internet. So let's zoom in just a little bit more to this portion. And we have this. So this cursor is going to tell you exactly where on the larger time frame this is letting you enter and exit. Okay, so this is what makes it ridiculous. Okay, so over here we're looking for cross throughs up here. So here's where this thing crossed over. It crossed over about right here. As we can see, there was no drawdown in here at all. It just went straight through this line. Okay, then it pulled back to the line. then guess what? It told you right here to get out. We're going into blue. We're buying up. These will be doing the same thing. These will be going up. Again, 1 second, 5 second, 15 second, 30 second, all the way up. So these right here will be giving you indication early that we're starting to buy. So even when it gets about here, guess what? We're on the bottom side of this line. Now we're moving back to the top. It's going to give me an indication that we're pushing back up. So now you know early that you can get out right here. Oh, it's not going my way right now. Let me go the other way. Again, this is consolidation. So we have red background, blue foreground. So now we're in consolidation and can go both ways. This is when it crossed through the line. We had confirmation here. I don't know how many pips this is, but if I measured it, it would probably be more than 20 pips. We're looking at these bricks, right? I still don't know how to use the ruler when I'm zoomed in like this, but let's see. There's a shortcut to it, but I forgot what the shortcut is. Let's see what it is. Shift and then click on the chart. But let's measure it. From here is where it'll let you in, no drawdown, and we cooked it, 56 pips. You're done for the day right there if you're doing 20 pips per day. You're done for the day. You already made 1,000, you already made 2,000 really if you're using $20 per pip in a prop firm, okay? So when it comes back up here and you get into this, now look what you're in. We're in consolidation, you go both ways. Your next move is 180 pips. Back to the top of this wick. Comes back to the line, cooks again. You could take profit when it's under this line. Take the profit. So now your take profit is all the way up here somewhere in the wick. So now you have a beautiful take profit, and I know for sure that the support and resistance lines will be lining right up for you to take those profits on a regular basis. So now you just scalped into your entire day just out of that. Now let's continue on. We have some here. Again, 20 pips. Guess what? That's 36. Now, this market is extremely volatile and it's juiced. It's a juiced market. So even if that was 5 pips or if that was 5 pips, but we're not doing all of that. Why? Because it's not a line crossover. You see how this is going back and forth? Do you have to figure this out? Absolutely not. You want to show up when the action happens. And the action is happening, again, right here. The line crossover goes down, gives you 30, 40 pips or so. Maybe it's 10, 20 pips in the market from prior, but guess what? It comes back to it and shoots down again. So how many opportunities did you really have at this line? It's not just the one. It's over and over and over again. And this gives you the lens inside of this. So that's that. That's that day, right? Now, if we go over to 9:30, when it's really extremely volatile, now you have an edge that's extremely elite. Here you go. This is where the drop off is for the next time. Right there. What's your confirmation? It crossed into the red. It's crossing over this line right here at the exact same time. This is probably going down. A lot of these are going down, letting you know that we're pushing right now, and it just flushes you right into profit. Again, here's your crossover on the line on the 30. This one was 463 pips in this juiced up market. Now, where could you have taken profit? You have taken profit right here. That's a great take profit. Here's a continuation down here. Where have you taken profit or getting out just in case it did pull back to you right here? It's giving you real tight execution, right? Over and over and over again, okay? Now we're away from the line. So this is away from the line, but we still have confirmation because this is going to end up telling us what's going on. Now, if I pull off of Rinko and we just look at what's happening, let's pull off of Rinko and go into regular candles, only for the sake of seeing how this is reacting at those times. Let's go back to it. Let's hit a 930, because this was one of those 3 entries that I had said were the best entries that I had taken for the day, right? So let's go back to 930. All right, we don't have any candles at all. I don't want you to get lost in the candles. I just want you to be here for 930, right? So let's go back here. Here's 929. On the left side, again, we have consolidation, blue and red, right? We already made the money for the day. We should have been out of there already. So if we're down to the 1 second, let's go 3 seconds at a time. This is how, let's go 1 second at a time. This is exactly what you would be seeing. So let's go back to it again. That happened very, very quickly. If we go 1 second at a time, this is what we'd be seeing. We're just focused on this chart right here. So if we say down, guess what? All of this stuff is down. So if I end up pressing this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is $5 per tick, $5 per pip. Now here's my confirmation. I could have pulled out when this turned blue. This is how you know where to take profit at. If you don't see anything, you see how that would have been a great take profit. I'm just gonna hold it in there, but this is what's happening, and you can see early whether to take profit or not, whether to get out or not, any of that stuff. We're just going in blind, but I want to see or show you how this thing is operating 1 second at a time. I'm just gonna leave that there, right? So we could have got out and we would have taken profit there. We knew pretty early. Now we're back to down again. We're double testing, but it's telling you right away what's happening. At the same time, we'll have some support and resistance things going on. But again, we're not dealing with candles. Right? But even if we are dealing with candles, let me put them on so we can at least see something. Let's see. Maybe let's show regular candles. See if that works. No worries, it's not working. But I just want you guys to see how this thing is flowing and what's really happening with it. Let me take this out so we can just focus on it. There we go. Normally we'd have $20 or something like that per pip. If we're in a prop firm or something, here we go. This is what, you know, your $1,000 looks like. This is how far it goes. It's not really a lot to get to be able to make that happen. So there's your confluence going through these lines. And if you notice, it wasn't as clean as it was when it was crossing through this line. So instead of being in the abyss and trying to figure things out over here, you know, just work with the line. Now, if you're outside of that, you go to the 5 minute. And this is if you're wanting to scalp. This is if you're wanting to have some more moves happen and everything of the sort. This is what you would do. You would go down to the 5 minute. You see the 5 minute has said to sell through anyway. You got your pressure going on right here, and you got your pressure going on right here. And as you can see again, it was a great time to head out and take profit when these first two changed. When these first two changed up. Do you guys have questions or anything? You guys can unmute and everything like that, and then I can field questions. But this is all of the confluence that you guys would need. This, the wrinkle bricks, you'll see it in the other video as I'm trading, how it really look together. But this is letting you know what's happening down to the second. Set all down and it started pushing down. That says up, it started pushing up. Right? So it keeps everything extremely tight for you. That's what I wanted you to see. All up, it's pushing up. Come back down. What did it do? It hit a level, continued up. You got everything right here for you. Okay. And it's only like this because I'm not able to replay the wrinkle bricks. Right? It doesn't allow you to do that. So you exit
Very
out.
interesting.
Okay. So this is what it looks like as we go. Was that a question? I'm listening.
Nah, just a comment.
Okay. What was the comment? I missed it.
No, I said it's pretty straightforward and interesting.
Okay. All right, solid. Definitely appreciate that. But that's what it would be. So putting those two together are great. But again, even if you only did this and you got an alert when it was time to come to the computer, you know something's happening, and now you know exactly which way it is happening. And this is amazing for reversals, right? So do we know what time it started reversing today from US 30 or NAS or anything like that? I'm sure NQ dropped crazy and then ended up reversing, right? What time did it reverse?
Yeah, it was quite a few. It was a back and forth debit and credit, at least 3 cycles today on NQ.
Okay. Dang, so maybe this. Let's get out of this replay. So what I want you guys to see is what most people work off of is an hour to 15 minute, or a lot of people use those for it, which is great. And in comparison, right, a lot of times you can use that in terms of the support and resistance to get into some really good moves. And what I
Yep.
want to show you guys here is that this is probably the best thing that you can use to get into your reversals, right? To turn over and get a nice reversal. So as we can see, now these are not going to be right because again, we can't replay, right? So let's look at this wick right here. This would probably be crazy in NQ. So when we're looking at this, we just sold down for grip. We did all of this.
Mhm.
And honestly, the moment that it pops over and turns blue, it's usually going to go, it's going to pull back to it, and then it's going to go again. So when it does pull up, there's usually 2 touches, before it just yanks back up. So if you got this one, great, no problem. But look at what part of the wick that is on the left side. You're all the way down in the wick of this if you're just taking it as soon as that happens.
Mm-hmm. I caught that today.
You caught this one today?
Yep.
There you go. Right? What did this look like as you were taking that?
When I was looking at it, it was on the 5 and the 1 second. So I'm looking at the 5, and the crossover happened, and that's how I got in real early because I
Mm-hmm.
saw the crossover on the momentum indicator on the bottom, and I just pretty much got in, and I just kind of just wrote it.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's the thing. You can, when these things are turning blue like that, you can tap in real quick and just see what it does. If you tapped into this, it would have been a little back and forward leading up to it, and then, coming back to it. But when you tapped into this, it was gone, right? And if you held
Yeah.
it all the way through, that's
I had
great.
to ride that for a little bit because you can see it kept going. The trajectory overall going up. When you're live, you're just, you're seeing it retrace and then go up and retrace and go up. So I had to
Mm-hmm.
stay in it for a while.
Yep. You have to stay in it for a while for sure. So that's what it'll be, but your position is nice enough for it to be comfortable as it's going back and forward, and then it's telling you pretty early if it's going to be turning around. It's crossing over a line, or these are turning red, or something's telling you that you can hop out of there until you have better confirmation for it to go again. So you just tap,
Mhm.
tap, tap. Is this money? Is this money? Is this? That's what we're doing in that way. And the day could have been done again all the way over here at 8:30 with this pristine entry, right here. Not really,
Yeah.
because it's blue and blue. Again, that was a buy. So let me see what it actually looked like. Did you do anything about 8:30 or so?
No, because it was also blue on mine. And so I was just kind of waiting
Yep.
and I was pretty heavy on the contract. So I was very patient.
Yes. And this is why you're trying to break it and did 10K in a day.
Yeah.
All right, beautiful. Ken, is Ken still here? Or is Dan? Let me
Oh yeah, I'm
see.
still here.
Okay, beautiful. Now, is that clear on how to use the wrinkle bricks? Have you ever traded with wrinkle bricks?
No, I haven't used them on the Rincos. No, I just
Okay,
basically been just using the regular candlesticks.
okay, solid. Do you understand how you would be able to use those? Yes.
I think he muted himself.
Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna ask one more time. So, Ken, are you clear on how you will be able to utilize those in the chart over here to go along with the 30-minute action? If not, it's
You have
all
to mute yourself, Ken.
okay. Eh,
All right, what was that? Hold on one second. I got some like dub audio here or something.
okay, gotcha. Yes, it turned red. It probably turned red after though. Probably down here
Hmm.
somewhere. Because I have it on the close rather than the crossover. I could have it on the crossover, but
All
So
right, I'm sorry
earlier
about
you
that.
mentioned you were going to do audio cues.
audio cues
Yeah,
with
when you
the alerts,
like if there's a reversal, there would be basically like an audio cue.
something like this.
Yeah, or maybe if I heard you wrong, because you're referencing the signals of the diamonds, and it's like, you said, yeah, I might do audio cues for you guys.
Yeah. So with that, what I was thinking is to have these 30-minute, these be an alert, right?
Uh,
It's gonna happen, a ton of times throughout the day. Those will be an
yeah.
alert. We already have the sells and buys as an alert in the Telegram, in that other chat for US 30 and Nas. I could pretty much do that for all of them. In terms of
Uh,
earlier, I was talking about these kind of being an automation. In terms of these crossing over like this, have those be an automation and let it do its thing throughout the day. I'm not sure how clear that's going to end up being, or how loud, or
right.
how it's going to end up being. So I will put that on and then test and see what that would look like. But during the 9:30, or during that high time, I think that'd be great because it has to go somewhere and it's going to pick it up for sure. Right. And I'm sure people can hit their goals off of those moves. And I'll just have to find the safety precaution to go along with it. And I thought to code some of this as well, to just have them all in one, and then also have that as an indication as well when they all turn at the same time as another push. But by itself, I think that's that. Ken, do you got it sorted out?
Yes. All right. Now you had asked a question I couldn't even hear because I had another audio thing coming in.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what happened there, but what was the question you had asked, Brandon?
So I was asking if you were confident based on that in terms of how you would be able to use these wrinkle bricks and the support and resistance to get into your moves with the crossovers and to have confirmation with these crossovers.
Yeah, and I think it's just going to take for me to just get more acclimated as far as like with the wrinkles. Basically, been more used to the candlesticks and then the confirmations there.
Yep.
But yeah, I've been following along with you with the wrinkles, and I know it's kind of hard to go back to really do a testing with it because with the wrinkles you can't go back and then really look at it and see what it's doing. But yeah, it's just going to take some time for me to which won't be difficult, just getting used to that, and then the crossovers essentially. I think pretty much if I'm looking at the blue and the reds, it's just going to give me a confirmations there.
Yep.
In the
If you do only that, you'll be absolutely fine. If you ever want to look inside of the crossover, that's what this is for. Right?
Yeah.
You want to look inside and make sure that everything is tight and you have some buying action, some evidence of some buying through that. That way it makes your decision-making process very, very cool, and you have more confidence in it. And it allows you to hold it a little bit longer or cut out a little bit tighter. So it just makes you more efficient when it comes to these. Okay.
So you're saying so the wrinkles will be more definitive and you can hold them a little bit longer. You can see more into, what's going on compared to your candlesticks.
Exactly. So that's just your zooming. So if you put your binoculars on, that's what this is.
Gotcha.
Put your binoculars on, and you got plenty of. And this is the Trump thing. Crazy.
That's crazy.
Crazy. So that's it on this side. I'm going to get these alerts going nice and easy for you guys to make. And then that way you know when some action is happening, whether that's the 30-minute or the 15-minute crossovers, and that'll just put you in the right time. And kind of solidify the day. So that's it for the call. You guys have any other questions or anything like that?
Oh man, I'm good. It was really good. Appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks so much, Brandon. Really appreciate this.
All right, perfect. So I'll drop the recording. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but I think this is plenty. Now, would a layout to have 3 of these at the same time be good? I know that you said that you had the 30-minute, 15-minute, then had the 5 and the wrinkle up. Having it like this and having 30, 15, 5 wrinkle, would that make sense on your side, Dan? Because I can cook that up as well. Or a couple monitors.
Okay.
You lost. That's all good though. But I'm gonna drop this recording. And you guys will be good.
Okay.
But hit me with anything, okay?
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks,
sounds good, man. Thanks.
All right. Have a good one, guys. Peace.
Right now. Bye.